If I waited for lessons and took it classes that would take all day here to stay. Don't stop to run, my boy, but that's okay.
For number 29, I've got a game that I'm a lot more certain that I like. That game is Rayman Origins, developed by Ubisoft Montpellier and published by Ubisoft in 2011. In the past, I've had a rocky history with Rayman games. I tried the first one, and even though I liked the art style, the difficulty and pace had a strange disproportion. Rayman 2 I enjoyed, but a lot of it was lost on me. I'm not even going to start on the Rabbids. Put all those things together, and you have one of my favorite game characters of all time that had yet to star in a game I was capable of loving. Then Rayman Origins broke into the scene with the most beautiful art style to ever grace a game this side of Wind Waker, plus extraordinarily fluid platforming and a breakneck pace. This game may not do anything new per se, a few abilities like wall running and shrinking are used in pretty unique ways, but it polishes existing mechanics perfectly. The mechanics work in perfect conjunction with the speed of the gameplay to create a sugary granule of Avery creme brulee. That metaphor may be confusing, but basically it boils down to this. In most games, each obstacle is set up one after the other, so you deal with one, and move on to the next. There's nothing wrong with this method, but it does break up the gameplay into chunks. Levels in Rayman Origins cannot be broken down into chunks, however. Each obstacle flows right into the next one. The side-scrolling nature prevents you from planning out every step along the way. What this leads to is dynamic gameplay where you have to quickly assess your environment and respond to it continuously. Nowhere is this more clear than in the treasure chest levels, where adaptive players can overcome them in just a few tries, and less skilled gamers can create a cognitive map to guide them along. The music's another great highlight. The tunes are catchy and will leave you humming them well after turning the console off. Specific props to the water themes. I often find myself mishearing lyrics in them and singing them alone. When I'm a girl, wiki the world. Or fool I need I give you, fool I need I give you, fool I need I give you, fool. Yeah. The water levels are all kinds of right in this game, which is saying something. Water worlds are almost universally hated in games for good reason, but this game doesn't needlessly restrain your movement underwater. It adjusts the gameplay for the physics, but keeps you just as able. If Plato's concept of the ideal chair is valid, then this is probably the ideal 2D platformer, and every other game like it is just an imitation. If that's true, you might expect this game to be higher on the list than its current position at 29, and over time that will probably be the case, but as of now, it's not far enough removed from the release date for me to feel ready to list it as one of my all-time classics. As the years go by, it may work its way up unless Rayman Legends turns out to be the best piece of entertainment ever produced, which it is on track to become. So, hats off to Ubisoft for finally giving me a game I can consider worthy of the Rayman character. This game is an absolute blast and a decent candidate for an art game that doesn't rely on a pretentious story and still manages to deliver an escapist experience through gameplay perfection.